Jai Hind, friends, welcome or welcome back to Revelations with Manasji. Friends, please welcome General GD Bakshi. Thank you, sir, for coming in. Operation Sindoor is on a pause, sir. What is the next thing that's going to happen, if it's going to happen, sir?
They are trying to get their fifth generation fighters from China. General
Promoted to Field
Asim
Marshal.
Munir has promoted himself to Field Marshal. I would like to call it Failed Marshal.
S-400 has perhaps made the killing record.
They are paying for your blood. And they will come back at you because they are a bunch of swines who refuse to listen.
And what should we do, sir?
My personal take is that this is a problem you will have to solve. You cannot wish away this problem.
Should we be prepared for a tactical, short duration battle? Or as a country, we should be preparing for a long war?
चरखे जितने काटने हैं आप जाके काट लीजिए, but it's not a Gandhian war. Pakistan is staying ahead of you in the level of armaments. फटीचर मुल्क आपको आउट कम्पीट कर रहा है. It's a disgrace.
Is there a 5-point or a 10-point program that you would recommend that how we deal with our neighborhood and what we should be doing in the next maybe 3 quarters to 3 years to the next 10 years?
Your economy is good enough to give you the wherewithal to give Pakistan a decisive knock. ये हमारी इकोनॉमी बड़ी अच्छी है, हमको लड़ना नहीं चाहिए. अब नहीं लड़ोगे तो मरो.
Considering our neighborhood and of course Pakistan is the most problematic, where are we?
कुत्ते की दुम को आप स्टील की ट्यूब में डालिए, 10 साल बाद निकालिए, टेढ़ी मिलेगी आपको. If you are well strong enough, so strong that itself is a deterrent to your enemies.
What do you expect from the countrymen? How do you want the countrymen to prepare for the times ahead?
Change your mindset to an Israeli mindset, who are ready for war.
Jai Hind, friends, welcome or welcome back to Revelations with Manasji. I have a guest today with me who needs no introduction, an expert as far as military strategy and geopolitics is concerned. I'm privileged to have somebody who's not only a soldier but also a scholar, somebody who's written 400 papers, written 45 books, 47 to be precise, and on the way to complete the 48th one. Friends, please welcome General GD Bakshi. Thank you, sir, for coming in, and thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity to meet you, somebody that who's been always
Most
following you for so
welcome.
many years.
Most welcome.
So, sir, I'll straight away shoot the questions to you because I think that's the best thing to do with an infantry officer.
Sure.
Right? Operation Sindoor is on a pause, sir. What is the next thing that's going to happen, if it's going to happen, sir?
Yeah.
And when do you see that?
Yeah. You know, the surprising thing in this country is that we have won a clear-cut and decisive victory. But for some reason, we are very shy of owning up to that victory because the entire dominant mood in the civilian establishment was to finish it up, and, go in for a ceasefire, pause, and operations, whatever you like to call it. And unfortunately, for the first 5 days, Pakistan, ran away with the narrative that it had won a major victory. Bakwas, I mean, they've been whipped. They've been whipped in this war, nice and proper. And I think our indigenous technology has come of age. And, our Navik satellite systems, our air defense, integrated air defense, the Akash Tir and the Akash missiles, in single shot, they've given 88% hit probability, in salvos 99% hit probability. It is amazing. It's the Indian Iron Dome. And it is indigenous, made in-house in the country. That is the most amazing part of it. And because of it, in offensive operations, in defensive operations, we have licked them hollow, black and blue. But for some reason, we are very shy. So far, we haven't given out the number of aircraft that we have shot down or destroyed in Pakistan. Do you know how much it is? It is 8 F-16s, 4 on ground, 4 in the air. 2, Saab 2000 AEW aircraft, 2 Mirages, 1 IL-78 air-to-air refueler, 1 C-130 big transport aircraft, right? And 4 radars, 2 ground control stations, 2 AD control stations, etc. About 600 drones we've shot down.
So we had a clear-cut
We've
air
hit
superiority.
nine. We've hit nine. Pakistani terrorist bases. 4 of them being in the heartland of Punjab, in Bhavalpur, Jaish-e-Mohammed headquarter, Murid ke Lashkar-e-Toiba headquarter, then in Sialkot, the Hizbul Mujahideen headquarter, blasted to bits. Out of 12 Pakistani airfields, 11 have been properly bashed. Sargoda, 20 feet craters that have been dug up in the middle of that cross, runways, etc., etc. Chinese made radars, American radars knocked out with Horops and Israeli suicide drones, kamikaze drones, etc. So the point at issue is we won a near decisive victory. We are not saying it. Now the foreign experts are saying it. Like Tom Cooper, Austrian military aviation historian and expert. He says India has won a decisive and clear-cut victory. We've hit their nuclear storage sites in Kirana Hills. We blocked the bloody entrance. कोई जाके वहां से nukes निकाल नहीं सकता. It is an amazing,
very decisive.
superlative performance. In the 21st century, there has not been air battles like this, beyond visual range. Both air forces staying on one side of the border and trying to clobber the other. We have beaten them black and blue, but we seem very shy to tom-tom it. We should be tom-tomming it from the skies. We let them get away with their narrative. Anyway, so that is history. We've won a great victory. All veterans felt we should have gone in for 2-3 days more and bashed the daylights out of them nice and proper. Right? But I suppose the civilian establishment was worried about the Indian economy. It has become the 4th largest economy, 4 trillion economy, heading to, 3rd largest economy, etc. And they were far more concerned about that than, teaching Pakistan a lesson, right? What was the aim of this operation? In my view, it was to deter Pakistan from such terroristic adventurism. Have we achieved that? That answers your question of will there be a next round? Yes, there will be. Because we stopped halfway. And here is a country which will prepare, come back again because they have given a narrative of victory and they must thump their chest in front of their troops.
So the general has been
General
promoted to Field
Asim
Marshal.
Munir has promoted himself to Field Marshal. I would like to call it Failed Marshal, not Field, as in Field Marshal, but Failed,
Right.
failed as in fail. Because he's failed dismally. It is a disaster.
And perhaps
But
that's
it
the
is
only army sir which gets promotion even after failing so miserably.
And they do it each time. They do it after each war. They promote themselves and congratulate themselves. Even 71 war they claim to have won. Even the 71 war, you can't have a greater disaster overtaking any armed forces. Armed forces, not comprehensive defeat of their army,
True.
navy, air force. Every one of them was country broken in two. And on the last day, that General Yahya Khan, in a drunken stupor of free whiskey, the whiskey is free, you see. Therefore, this man is a mullah, but he's addicted to whiskey. He likes his free whiskey. Free scotch, free this, free black label and blue label. And
it's all the matter of convenience.
It's all a matter of convenience. So the simple fact is that he's promoted himself. The raison d'etre of the Pakistan army is to fight against India. Perpetual war against India, because that lines up the whole country behind the Pakistan army. They've taken a big knock since Imran Khan came in, since their corps commander's house was attacked.
Yes,
in Lahore. So they've taken a knocking and they wanted to unite the country behind the army. They have succeeded with this operation. So he will come back at you because their terrorist community has taken personal losses to begin with, starting with Hafiz Saeed. So they'll come back at you. They are preparing. They are trying to get their fifth generation fighters from China.
Yes, sir.
You know, the
We saw
J-30s.
J-20s coming in even during this, initially flying in
Yeah,
the area.
J-30s. So what happened was that China gave them all the weapons and equipment they wanted, including J-10Cs, which they say is their Rafale killer. Bullshit. Bullshit. I mean, they've been taken for a royal ride, because the Indian Air Force used pilotless target aircraft, dummy aircraft with electronic payloads that mimicked the electronic signature of Rafales and Su-30s and all. And they shot these dummy aircraft up and have been thumping their chest that we've down 3 Rafales and I don't know, 1 MiG, 1 Su, 1 this, that, 5, 6 they're claiming. No, no proof. Not a single shred of proof. But a very slick PowerPoint presentation by Air Vice Marshal Aurangzeb, trying to impress all the girls and all the foreigners with his Tom Cruise jargon of Top Gun, etc., etc. Give us a break. They've been beaten black and blue, and they know it. Not just we are saying it, like I said, the foreign experts are now started saying it, as more and more Maxar high resolution satellite imagery, civilian satellite imagery is coming. People can see before and after shots of the bashing their air bases have taken. The bashing. Radars have been knocked out, hangars with the AWACS have been knocked out while they were downloading the data from the AWACS. One squadron leader, 5 of his boys killed on the spot, 40 wounded. I mean, that is the kind of casualties.
In fact, so one of the former air marshals has conceded if the video is true, right, that that they have lost a C-130 while inside the hangar.
They have lost. He was talking of the AWAC.
AWAC, sorry.
In Bolari. In Bolari. The AWAC has been destroyed, which is a great loss. It is a crippling loss to an air force. It is one of your prime assets, the AWAC. You couldn't save your AWACs. What are you talking of a victory? What victory are you talking of? And if you have won such a spectacular victory as you claim on day 1, what happened to you on day 2, day 3, day 4? You got bashed. Your aircraft couldn't take off. Your bases were hit, air bases. Your crown jewels were hit in Noor Khan and Sargodha. Your nuclear storage sites were hit and you couldn't do a damn about it. And whatever attacks you did this side, none of them got through to their targets. Not one.
In fact, sir, I read also that S-400 has perhaps made the killing record by
shooting down an AWAC at 315 kilometers.
Exactly, sir.
The Russians have shot down at 212 kilometers inside Ukraine. We have shot down an AWAC. That is the second AWAC actually. At the range of 315 kilometers. It is it's a stupendous achievement, man. It is a stupendous achievement. And yet we are shy about tom-tomming it. We were very keen to finish it off as if, giving the needless impression that maybe we also suffered. We've not suffered, apart from a scratch or two. But that's okay. It's combat. It's fine. You lose 1 or 2 aircraft. That's not a disaster. Look at what he's lost. Look at what he's lost. So, to answer your seminal question, what next?
And what should we do, sir? What should be?
I think we better get on to preparing for the final round. You may not want it. You may be Ahinsatmak and Gandhian and Charkha may be your favorite weapon. But that's not on the other side. They are baying for your blood. And they will come back at you because they are a bunch of swines who refuse to listen. You see? कुत्ते की दुम को आप स्टील की ट्यूब में डालिए, 10 साल बाद निकालिए, टेढ़ी मिलेगी आपको.
Right.
ऐसी ये है पाकिस्तान का हाल. So Pakistan will provoke you within 6 months, 8 months. I thought the beating was enough to keep them quiet for 2 to 3 years. But my personal take is that this is a problem you will have to solve. You cannot wish away this problem. And don't give us that highfalutin jargon of, we are such a rich country that we don't want to fight. We want to keep getting our people killed. We don't give a damn how many Pahalgams happen here. Yes, we do. The Indian public does give a damn. I leave the economists to worry about the economy. We are doing bloody well. How is it that Pakistan, with a failing economy, can try and get longer range BVRs than you? A फटीचर मुल्क आपको आउट कम्पीट कर रहा है. It's a disgrace. You forget about competing with China. They are getting stuff from China, which they will get the fifth generation stealth fighters before you do. So, I mean, what are you talking about the world's fourth largest economy? If you can't defend yourself, we always were a great economy, bhai. हमको तो सोने की चिड़िया कहा जाता था. But we did not want to defend ourselves. We were too pacific. Such great economies that we felt what a waste of money to defend on your own protection, on your armed forces. So you lost every single battle of Panipat and you lost your freedom. And screw your economy. All your gold was taken by the invaders. But you haven't learned a damn lesson. ये हमारी इकोनॉमी बड़ी अच्छी है, हमको लड़ना नहीं चाहिए. अब नहीं लड़ोगे तो मरोगे. And you might as well finish this problem once and for all. It's my personal opinion, for whatever it is worth, that you will have to fight a final battle with Pakistan. You might as well prepare for it. You might as well do them in before they try and do you in. 17 बार पृथ्वीराज चौहान ने मोहम्मद गोरी को हरा के भेजा था. But he came back an 18th time. And if you are so concerned about your darling economy, your economy is good enough to give you the wherewithal to give Pakistan a decisive knock. Decisive knock. And we've seen how their nuclear weapons can be neutralized. The Prime Minister himself has said so. And I don't think it is my opinion alone. I personally, it's my assessment that is the opinion of the government, because they haven't called off Operation Sindoor.
So should we be prepared for a tactical short duration battle, or as a country we should be preparing for a long war?
Your advantage is in a long war. The problem is the whole world starts shouting, you are two nuclear powers. So I'm saying even a 15 to 20-day war should be enough to do Pakistan.
That's the definition of the long war, sir, that you are saying.
Long war.
Pardon my ignorance, but I'm asking.
No. Definition of a long war is World War I, World War II, 5 years, 6 years. Russia-Ukraine war, 3.5 years and counting. Israel war against these 2 years and counting.
2 years, right.
So those are long wars. But when I talk of short duration war, you are talking of a month plus. That fits the definition of a short war. So you may have to go in for a short war of a month duration.
That should be our approach.
A month duration. It may be punctuated with ceasefire and again resumption, etc. So as the nuclear threshold is not crossed, and even if it is crossed, we can knock out all their nuclear weapon storage sites. We've shown it. Why we stopped, I don't know, but we did stop. And now we might as well prepare for a final round. That's my take.
So if you look at the Ukraine-Russia war, and if you look at the Indian subcontinent, there is a common element being an external supplier of weapons. Ukraine fought till the time they had the weapons coming in from US, right?
The weapons are still coming from Europe.
Right. So now here is a case where Pakistan is getting weapons from China, right? And needless to mention that we don't have relations with China of a friendly nation or a neighbor. In that case, does it become all the more problematic for us because Pakistan is a country which is ruled by the military, which has not been educated in the elite institutes, and having its own way of thinking. Now all they need is a weapon. So is it not uniform terrorism that is going to be in India that we'll be facing with the Chinese weaponry?
You see, the Chinese don't like to fight themselves and dirty their hands. They believe in winning without fighting, subduing an enemy without fighting. That is Sun Tzu, as they call it. And it has always been like that. They would like to fight you till the last, like America and Europe decided to fight Russia till the last Ukrainian standing. जब तक आखिरी यूक्रेनियन नहीं मर जाता, they wanted Zelensky to continue the battle. And like an idiot, like Nero, who sang while Rome burnt.
Correct.
He's been wanting to, strut about like some kind of a conquering hero on the Western media, television screens, and saying, Zelensky, the great warlord, getting his country destroyed for no rhyme or reason. There's not a single country which is left standing. 8 million people have fled Ukraine. 200,000 have, run away from the battlefields. 1 million have been killed, oblique, rendered unfit for combat by loss of limbs and all that. That is the scale of the damage that has been inflicted. You still want to continue because others want you to fight till the last Ukrainian. उसकी एज थी कंस्क्रिप्शन की 25 years. So they said नहीं 18 करो ना, अभी तो बचे हुए हैं. 13-14 साल के बच्चे भी ले जाओ, लगा दो घुसेड़ दो, हमारा क्या जाता है. तुम कुत्ते हो, मरने के लिए तैयार हो, like a mad dog, you want to bite, keep biting. So keep biting. And that conflict is on. Russia says we are happy, you want it. So they'll provoke with a few drone strikes on Moscow. Provoke for no rhyme or reason. How much warhead does a drone carry? 2 to 3 kgs. What damage will that do to Moscow? Nix. It is more for the cameras, optics, right? And in return, they have hit you with 300 drones and about so many missiles onto Kyiv. And each of their missiles carries 700 kilo warheads. You can imagine the damage they are doing. Your energy infrastructure destroyed. Your city is destroyed to rubble. And yet you want to strut around, I am the greatest fighter who ever was and is and will be. So then become a fighter and get your... He doesn't want peace talks. The Europeans think we won't fight. We'll make Zelensky, he is willing to fight. The Ukrainians are willing to fight and keep dying. There is no revolt taking place against Zelensky as of now. And he will continue doing that till he is done in. Peace talks, Donald Trump is trying for peace talks, but Zelensky doesn't want to stop. He's saying, I've got plenty of more people left to be killed. So what? So the point at issue is that is what the China-Pakistan equation is. China is getting second thoughts. My personal reading. China is getting second thoughts. They are now worried, have we backed the wrong idiotic horse? All our Belt Road initiative through, the China-Pakistan economic corridor will all come to naught if tomorrow Baluchistan comes up there. Finito. Sunk cost. So they are getting concerned ki if we have to do business, they'd rather do business with India than a faticher Pakistan whom they have to keep bankrolling, bailing out. How long will they also like to continue? And I think you will speed up that conviction in the Chinese mind if you go for the jugular of Pakistan. Next war, and we should try and see that we splinter Pakistan into 5. And then let those 5 fight it out amongst themselves.
So, sir, considering our neighborhood, and of course, Pakistan is the most problematic, where are we? Do we have a good neighborhood? Or are we are we facing real challenging times?
You are in the worst neighborhood possible. Straight answer to a straight question. You are in the worst neighborhood possible. You are not in a 2.5 front situation, China to the north, Pakistan to the west, and the terrorists and Maoists. So, as I was saying, that you are in the worst possible neighborhood. China to the north, Pakistan to the west, and the terrorists in your backyard. You are now, sir, in a 3.5 front situation. With China, with Pakistan, with Bangladesh. And that half front of your internal security and your rear. So, we are living in troubled times. I don't know why we can't adjust to this harsh reality. Primacy has to be given to defense. We are spending 1.9%, which includes my pension and your dad's pension. Pensions are not included in defense budget. To show the people they are spending enough, they are saying we are spending 1.9.
Correct.
But you aren't. You need to spend... Pakistan is staying ahead of you in the level of armaments.
In fact, sir,
now, is that an achievement? It is an achievement of sorts. For an economy which is the 4th largest economy in the world, that you can't spend enough on your defense, you will collapse if you spend enough. Pakistan won't collapse, which has been on the verge of collapse for all these years. They won't collapse, hum collapse ho jayenge. अगर हमने थोड़ा सा एक्स्ट्रा स्पेंड कर दिया, कहीं पेंशन दे दी, कहीं कुछ दे दिया, तो हम मर जाएंगे. I mean, let's get real. You got real world challenges. It is not a Gandhian world. चरखे जितने काटने हैं आप जाके काट लीजिए, but it's not a Gandhian world. You may be Gandhian, others are not. They're paying for your bloody blood. And now a cheapskate country like Bangladesh, he's also threatening that I'll take over the Seven Sisters, I'll take over Bihar, I'll take over Odisha, I'll take
The
over
chicken neck
West
area.
Bengal. So, I mean, we are in a very, you couldn't ask for a worse neighborhood. You couldn't ask for a worse neighborhood, so we better prepare. I think this pacifism, this Gandhianism, this lust for a Nobel Peace Prize, which was afflicted Nehru and more or less, you were more concerned about how do I get a Nobel Peace Prize. The country was a little concerned and consequence. That can't go on. This Gandhianism has to go because that is not the reality we have faced, unfortunately. So we might as well prepare for a very rough neighborhood. And America is doing it this way. They have 3 years conscription or 4 years conscription. So we must also. They have 2 oceans and they have Canada and Mexico for neighbors. So please give us a break. Spare us.
I think in terms of the quality of the neighborhood, or the closest that comes to us is Israel, perhaps.
Yeah, but Israel doesn't have nuclear armed countries as its enemies.
Correct.
We have 2 nuclear armed countries as your enemy.
Right.
And yet we want to be pacific. Well, that's our problem.
So, sir, thanks for highlighting all the problems that we are facing. I would request you that, from your experience being in military and, of course, your scholarly abilities, is there a 5-point or a 10-point program that you would recommend that how we deal with our neighborhood and what we should be doing in the next maybe 3 quarters to 3 years to the next 10 years? So is there a very set prescription that you would suggest from a military and non-military all aspects to solve this problem once for all?
Increase your defense budget to 3% of the GDP to start with. At least stay ahead of Pakistan if you don't want to stay ahead of China. At this rate of, we can't say we are Gandhian. हम अहिंसा कर रहे हैं. Then you are the guys who will suffer. Our people will suffer. So I'm sure the government is not onto that. The government is also very clear that now you have no choice but to fight and to be prepared. If you want to avoid war, be prepared for war. If you are strong enough, so strong, that itself is a deterrence to your enemies. If you are so strong,
Right.
then you will deter attacks. But if you open up windows of weakness, you start saying the army is too big, it's so expensive, it is costing me so much, these stupid idiot soldiers, they are costing us, so let us cut them out. 1,80,000 ghar bhej do. Very nice. You opened gaps in Rajouri, Punch, Riyasi, Kathua, Kishtwar, and he came right back in because he removed the CI grid. And you want to fight in the mountains, you want to take back POK, that will require hard fighting in the mountains. And in the mountains, you require ratios of not 3:1, but 10:1. If there's one defender, you have to put 10 people to attack. So that means manpower. There is no getting away from manpower and high tech. Both. You need both.
So you need manpower and tech both as far as defense is concerned.
As far as defense is concerned, that is the lesson of the Russia-Ukraine war. Even Israel felt the shortage of manpower, because they have been constantly fighting. They have to rest their troops at times. So we have to be very clear that we need both high tech and manpower. We increase our defense budget to 3%. If we can't get the AMCA ready in time, then we must get in at least 2 squadrons worth of Su-57s. Of the ones on offer, F-35 is too bloody expensive in the long-term life cycle cost. So, and they are not going to give you the source code.
Right.
You can't mount your weapons. You can't mount BrahMos. You can't mount the Astra or 2, 3 of them. So we might as well go in for those who share source codes with us, which are the Russians. So we'll have to get at least 2 to 3 squadrons of the Su-57 class. We'll have to speed up AMCA. We'll have to get the Triveni going, that Kaveri engine going,
Correct.
and make sure that our fighters are all made in India. Like the LCA, light combat aircraft, we were depending on American. Joe Biden stabbed us in the back, right? So we have to make our own. We have to go utterly indigenous, and we must increase our artillery firepower. We have the ATACS gun made in India, which has proved to be a world beater design. But we bought just 300. We want another gun designed, another gun manufactured. हमारे पास तो बहुत साल है, 100 साल है before a fight comes. I'm sorry, the fight may be coming in 6 months. So you better speed up your acquisition. You better speed it up.
Sure. So that was on the advice to the government, or to the larger public. But what do you expect from the countrymen? How do you want the countrymen to prepare for the times ahead?
You have to change your mindset. Get over ahimsa. Get over this thing. However seductive it might sound and how angelic you may look in the world community, you better protect your face. Otherwise, somebody will bash it up for you. And there are, inimical, hostile countries like Pakistan, like Bangladesh, like China, baying for your blood. So please change your mindset to an Israeli mindset, who are ready for war. Those people are so well trained. Siren goes off, they just go over to the nearest metro station and take shelter, read books, read a novel, come back, start their work. They're not unduly bothered by missiles and rockets and drones smashing into their country. Their air defense Iron Dome takes care of most of it. Whatever gets through, the people are trained. They hardly suffer any casualties. So we'll have to get disciplined, get trained in first aid. How to take shelter, and if you are caught in the open, at least lie down. You'll save casualties. We need to be ready for more violent times. Unfortunately, however much we may want peace, if you want peace, be prepared for war. Thank you. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.